Hey YouTube, this is Dr. Wanda. It has been a minute since I have just sat down and did a video and talked to you. I saw someone else's live stream, one of their super chats, and they were talking about the number of YouTubers who are misleading other YouTubers um, or misleading through YouTube individuals who are interested in coming to Africa. So they're giving them the impression that they can make it here living off of, say, $100 a month, that they can find apartments for 50, 60, 70, $80 a month. You can get a house for $200, all this type of stuff. And listen, the truth is, um, it's possible. It's not all just complete lies. They're embellishing some, but it's not. It wouldn't be anything comparable to the West. So yeah, if you want a house that doesn't have a toilet and a shower where you have to use the bush, or if you possibly can manage being near rotten rock or rough roads, or being out isolated, or a mud house, all those things are possible. But the individuals who were holding the show, they were really hurt that so many people were being misled and then getting here thinking that their one source of income would carry them. They're not understanding the truth of what you need to do in order to make it here. And I've done a similar video where I've always encouraged people to keep a stream of income. You need a stream of income coming from the West, and you need it coming for quite some time. Because this is life, and things happen. You need to manage them. You never know what's going to go on, and so you want to make sure that you're okay. But the other piece is, you need some sort of stream, because this is not a place that you come to and get a job. And one of the things that the two individuals described was people were given the impression that it's easy to start a business here. Now, I opened up a cafe in May, and I was selling Sobolo and iced coffee and hibiscus tea, and just teas and coffees. And on Sundays I was doing fresh fruit smoothies, and I was doing strawberry sundaes. And it wasn't like I didn't sell. I did sell, and people came, but not a lot. And the people that I've been the kindest to, that I've invested the deepest with. I've done quite a bit in this community because I'm living here. So I'm grassroots. I've done quite a bit. Those were the people that came even the least. It was like the women from the brothel. I had a set number of women from the brothel that would come and buy something. And then there was, of course, the children would muster up some money, and they would come and put their little 1 or 2 CDs out on something. But for the most part, the business didn't get much support. And I was spending more to keep the business open than I was bringing in. So I cut out the refreshments, and I immediately adjusted to just allowing the children to come and enjoy the cafe. And so I was allowing them to come anyway. So they come, they do coloring and art and play with dolls and trucks and Legos and all kinds of manipulative, so they'd have a good time for a few hours, and I shut it down. What has protected me is that I also opened up Wandaland's Naturals online using the Etsy platform. If I hadn't used Etsy, I would have used Shopify. If I wasn't going to use Shopify, I was going to use eBay. But I quickly realized I needed to change my strategy, and that the locals were not going to give me, for whatever reason, whether they were player haters, whether they just didn't have the money, whatever, they wasn't going to give me the support I needed in order to even break even. I'm not even talking about making any big money. Can I break even? They wasn't going to give it to me. So I had to shift my strategy. And it was a powerful move for me. It saved me. Now, I've taken some advice from Liz Abidi, and I have a couple of friends at home that also suggested to me, look for gigs online. And I've done gigs online before, but the problem with online is, like, sometimes you're spending so much time online because this is a pandemic and I am away from home and I do miss my family, that when I think about being online a lot, I get tired. But I did apply for a few positions that I really, really liked. I hope, being like, being a voiceover in children's stories. I can't wait to do that. There was some stuff with academics, with grading papers and reading papers. I can do that because this is all stuff where you sort of pace yourself. If you want to give it an hour or two a day, you do that. So I have a backup plan to the backup plan. That's the point I'm making. Okay. But then I also said, okay, I need to stay true to myself. And part of staying true to myself is doing the things that I like doing. And so I love herbs. I love a lot of the Ghanaian goods that's here and learning. I love being, I'm a researcher. So I love that. And so I decided, I said, you know what? Don't start coming up with all these extra gigs. Why don't you put your mind where your passion is so that you will give it 110% and you'll really get some growth. And so I decided, I said, all that energy that you're going to invest in applying for these jobs and getting this stream here why don't you just give your store, Wanderlands Naturals, everything you got, and let's see what comes of that. Well, what has come of that was when I first started off that first week, I think we had revenue of like $69. And then we finally started getting into weeks where we would see $200, $300, $400 revenue. And so, it's sales. So, the weeks come and they go. They're not always that good, but they're never low. And the stuff is going to the Netherlands. We've sold to Germany, to Canada, to the U.S., Hawaii. Today, when Isaac went to the post office, somebody from Singapore, believe it or not, brought some raw shea butter from us. So I'm not dependent on Ghana, although there are many West Africans that are buying from the store because they're dispersed throughout the diaspora. So if you are a Nigerian or a Ghanaian or from Togo and you're living in Germany and you miss a particular seasoning or you miss a particular herb and you find it on Wanderlands Naturals, then yeah, they're buying. So I felt sad listening to one, diasporans misleading diasporans and then misleading them and then not helping them. So everybody knows that I'm not really a group person. I'm very much a loner. I can be a team player, but I enjoy my own company. I need to be able to think. I get great inspiration from the Father, from Jehovah, so I need my space with that. I don't compete with nobody but myself. I'm always trying to push myself a little harder and get a little better. So I don't really like the concept of groups. So some of the duping that's going on wouldn't have happened to me. But I can see how people mislead people. I don't understand misleading them and then not having a heart to even check on them and see how they're doing though. That to me was even more hurtful to learn. I want to do this video to inspire some people. Like, look, if nothing else, you can sell off of these platforms that your social security number can easily run as your tax ID, and you'll be okay. You don't have to just not have any income coming in if you've gotten here and you've gotten yourself in trouble. And some people have gotten here and gotten themselves in trouble. Now, the way some people are dealing with it is they're coming from one nation going to another nation. And sometimes that helps. But I think when it comes down to money and the stronghold that the stronghold that the West has on Africa in terms of chronically wanting it to be underdeveloped, chronically wanting to reinforce poverty, I don't know how much that'll do. I will say this in terms of engagement. I've always pushed that you should not come here without having a relationship with a trusted native. I just don't believe that you should do that. So I do believe it's a pioneer space and that you should have the right to explore and check things out. But I will not lie to you. I could not have had as soft a landing and as beautiful of an experience, even with the bad stuff that's happened to me, without the natives. The continental Africans, this is their home. You're coming here, you're a stranger trying to make a home. You're not a continental African. You don't know how it works. You have to go into it understanding that, and it's actually going to protect you and save you from a lot of trouble. So for people who are here who are in trouble, you can recoup. You can get it back together. If nothing else, you can sell some things. But then also, you have to look at all those online gig possibilities that are really available just for you because you're still a U.S. citizen. You have not turned down your citizenship, so you still have access to all that good stuff that you can do. Um, that's what I'm gonna say about that. I wanted to share with you because this is how vital the natives are. The natives go and they'll ask me for certain things when they're. I'm talking about these are West Africans that have moved out of their nations, and so they're looking back at stuff that they miss. And for example, I knew nothing about potash, and I had somebody ask me for some Khan's potash. And this is just a kind of sodium bicarbonate that they use in stews. And so this rough rock looking stuff is something that's valued. Okay, um, this is tamarind. So I put it. It's usually sold in the market, but it's fruit. You can take this ball and put it in water and let it soak, and then you add your sweetener. And this is tamarind, and it's good. It's an antioxidant. It makes you look young, and it's a great drink. It's good for your blood pressure. I mean, this is just good stuff, packed with vitamin C. One I never knew about was something called ODCs that they use this to bathe with for boils and things like that. But they also use it for spiritual purposes. And believe it or not, it has a male and female version of itself. So this is, I think, the female, and no sound is the male. So that's interesting. And then look how my flash went out. And then something called ogami that they use for all kind of women's issues, um, sexually transmitted diseases, lubrication, um, as a freshener. And yeah, these are just some of the things that just by running the store, the natives brought to me just by making some special requests. I thought I had something else I wanted to show you. It's the edible chalk. I have the big pieces, but they use these big pieces for medicine when they want to like really stay in their stomach. So this is some of the edible chalk that they would shave, and this is to make sure that your medicine stays down. They also use it for casting, for cast if they needed to make a cast on something. Um, just interesting products. So everything ain't shea butter. One of my favorite things that sells really good is my Balboa powder, because we don't have a Balboa tree in the U.S., but I sell a keg. I sell it in like 1 kg, and yeah, it's absolutely nutritious, excellent for the digestive tract. All of this stuff is immune system building, and then it tastes good. So um, we need to do better by one another, and it doesn't require groups and clubs. It just requires decency. We know that the reason the diasporans are, especially from the U.S., are leaving is because they're seeking peace. They're seeking a safer ground. We need to respect that and honor that and look out for them. Everything don't need to be. I believe in consultations, and I respect people who do consultations because a lot of times they got good stuff to give you. But I think when people are in trouble, it's nothing wrong with just helping. It's nothing wrong with, coming off of the consultation fees and just saying, look, if this is to the point that you trying to do a GoFundMe to get back home, let me see what I can share with you. A simple thing or a group or somebody I can link you with that'll help you so that I don't know, so that things can get better. It made me feel sad. I would hate to get over here and after all of that feel like I have to go back because I'm literally going under. And again, I'm signing off.